And we are live! Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls! I'm back with a new campaign. Now, I sincerely hope that there aren't too many people that were attached to the Chimeria campaign. However, as I played it, I came to realize that I found the Chimerian unit roster to be quite boring, frankly. There isn't a whole lot of flexibility with it. Of course, you have quite mediocre infantry, some reasonable hoplite options, but ultimately nothing special considering that you are a Hellenistic faction that tends to have quite good infantry. Simultaneously, cavalry options Chimeria has are also nothing special. But barbarian lancer units are quite light, and horse archers are incredibly overpriced considering the value that they bring. And I just felt like I was fighting with a army with no real strengths, quite considerable mediocrity amongst its ranks, and just nothing to play. So I just decided, you know what, just restart a campaign. I need a faction with an interesting roster. I don't think I'm going to attempt a more minor faction in the area again. And let's play with a powerhouse here. In this case, the Ptolemaic Dynasty.
Your former vassals, Cyrenaica, have deigned to declare their independence and must be brought to heel. Cyprus remains true, but is at risk from invasion, as are your eastern possessions. The Seleucid Empire is a particular threat, a sprawling successor kingdom desperate to maintain power by whatever means possible. An alliance with Nabatea may help to keep them in check. Maintain trade relations with the Greek states, and beware of Macedonian treachery, as they too may seek to gain control of Alexander's former empire. Egypt shall be victorious.
Yes, we are the true successors to Alexander's empire, not those pretentious Seleucids or the Antigonids or any of these other pesky rival states. But truly, guys, I picked this faction because, one, it does have an interesting and varied roster, as I previously stated, and two, you have a quite interesting start position. Egypt itself is one of the most prosperous provinces in the game, albeit you have to build it that way. It starts with rather poor public order, since you are a minority ruling over the majority. The Egyptians don't quite want you here, a conquering people. And the thing about the Ptolemaic building roster, which I'll show you right now, is that the temple options you have are quite odd. You don't really have all too many options that perpetuate Hellenistic cultural influence. Like, say this one, for example. It's 50-50 between Egyptian and Hellenistic. This one, mostly Egyptian, actually. Will make your place more Egyptian. This one, same thing. This one, it provides both, but it is more geared towards Hellenistic, which is good. This one's all Egyptian. This one is also slightly Hellenistic, but not really an influence building thing anyway. So at the end of the day, unlike most other factions where basically all your temples are going to perpetuate your culture, in this case, you're going to be spreading Egyptian culture too. Which is actually a negative thing, because it creates public disorder amongst your people, but it also demonstrates that the Ptolemies were not particularly concerned with Hellenizing their... Hellenizing their subjects. They just wanted to be accepted as their rulers, and that's really it. Now, the other thing is, with your start position, is that you're a little bit overextended. I mean, really, if you want to, put this in a historical context, you're starting this campaign when the Ptolemaic Empire is at its height, but beginning to decline. Because we just don't have the military might to possibly keep a sprawling empire together. This little segment here in Galatia is completely exposed, and I'm just not going to be able to dedicate an army with my limited early game funds to protect it. And simultaneously, Yehuda here, which is really like a mixed province, includes kind of Phoenicia over here, Cyprus, as well as ancient Israel. And this is going to get attacked by the Seleucids right away. And I just don't want to protect it because I want to focus primarily on solidifying my control over Egypt. I want to build Egypt into a stronghold of the Ptolemaic dynasty, of our imperial might. So what I'm going to do is prioritize investing in Egypt here as well as in Libya. I do intend to take on Cyrene as my first major foe. I'm just considering whether I wish to... I don't know, should I invest in a building here? Yeah, maybe some public order stuff, right? We can build ourselves a temple. And I'm actually gonna neglect to do anything with my military. I've never been patrol the region to begin with. We can start some military innovation and of course look for allies.
Come, my friend, speak. We are men of words, and so serve our peoples with honor.
Although I will demand somewhat of a payment for the pleasure of trading with such splendid and prosperous people such as ourselves. You know,
Welcome,
Pharaoh
honored
does
emissary.
need his
Speak,
bribe. He does
and I
need
will
his
answer
cuts
with
for
my
trade,
master's
right?
voice.
Yes, similarly give us 1,500. Thank you very much.
I came.
Welcome. I throw open the doors to you and bid you
Antigonads were
enjoy
not
our
widely
talks.
accepted by the Ptolemies in Seleucus
Excellent.
at all times. So I believe that that's
Greetings,
probably
my
why
friend.
he was willing to pay
You have my ear
3,000
for your
for it.
speech, and if
Right?
it profits my people, agree. We Greeks are...
There we go, and yeah, it's quite good. What about Knossos?
Be welcome. But may Athena
They
strike us
tend
all
to
dumb
be
if we
pretty
speak
willing
anything
to
but
trade.
truth
They
in
are
our...
a somewhat isolated island.
With-
They don't want to take on such a powerhouse
My
like
lord.
ourselves. Over here, we don't really have the most options to start, I'll be honest. Our early game, like turn 1, recruitment options are pretty weak, although we do have some nice mercenaries. These Galatian mercenaries are particularly useful as a very powerful early game melee unit. So let's just get 2 of these, recruit them into
Come
our
join
army.
our
Thank you
ranks.
very much. What about these Greek archers? 175 range compared to the 165 that we expect of our Egyptians. However, Egyptians are also much cheaper, so... I mean, these Judean slingers are lit, though. They are very, very good. Compared to these bowmen and stuff, which are just, like, okay. The bowmen are cheaper, so let's just get 3 bowmen and call it a day in that regard. Luckily, we don't have a particularly challenging building roster to deal with here. You can see basically everything is going at... That's a little bit... Linen cataphracts. Well, no wonder a guy is fully decked out in linen, but he looks like a ghost. But anyway, this seems fine. This seems completely fine. I believe that these native pikemen come with a reform of some sort. I think maybe the Phraeus reform. Yeah, we can of course get bread and games just to continue to boost public order. And you know what? Well, bread and games this guy do. But again, we're gonna let Yehuda fall off just because all the Judean culture does cause rebellions, which you know. Historically accurate, guys. I mean, the Maccabees threw off the yoke of the Seleucids. The Judeans were constantly antagonizing the Roman overlords to the point where the Romans committed a genocide that was even uncharacteristic for themselves. I mean, truly, Judea, because of her monotheistic fate, was a hotbed of resistance continuously, and I don't intend to try to hold these rebellion wretches in place.
What I ask
I
is
don't need non-aggression for anybody. Like, I'm willing to trade, but non-aggression is kind of a little bit too much for me. A little bit too much for me, actually. Now, these Egyptian infantry were horrendous in the vanilla game for Rome 2. They're like a meme, they're so bad. And in DEI, they're not much better. The only positive thing is that it's a huge unit, 225 men. But if you look at their statistics, they're quite poor at everything, with the exception of the charge, actually. For like an Eastern cultured unit, their charge is actually really good. I expect such a charge of like Germans or Thracians or Dacians, you know? The people that are more prone to, you know, how do I put this? People that are more prone to warlike lifestyles. Yet it appears that these Egyptians, these particular Egyptians at least, are pretty violent themselves. They can charge in, screaming battle cries, screaming bloody murder, just like a Germanic soldier would. Yet I don't have any melee infantry. This is actually quite bad. I'm not going to be able to get these swordsmen from here. That's a reform unit, so I don't quite know what to do right now for my melee line. I mean, we have these two Galatians, which were a nice pickup. I mean, yeah, we can get Carian levies. That's a good option. And we can get the Egyptian mercenaries. I have no choice, guys. I don't want these Egyptian mercenaries, mind you. They're pretty bad, but my choice. If for cavalry, I have to get these javelins. I mean, they're only cavalry available. Obviously, these pikemen are good. They're good Macedonian-style pikemen, professional units. But I don't want my flanks guarded by Egyptian rabble and Carian levies. I mean, these are not professional soldiers. These are troops that are very, very volatile. They can be effective against the right foe, but who knows if I'm going to meet that right foe. Yeah, this army is almost complete. Now we have a couple of units of cavalry. We have a nice bed of pikemen. We have some Egyptian bowmen.
Ready for battle.
And of course, another Galatian can join our ranks here. And I think it's time to move against the rebels at Cyrene. I don't remember the full story, but I do recall that the rebellion on Cyrene, and let's get these Cyrenic hoplites, who maybe can give us some intel. But I recall that the rebellion on Cyrene was caused by I think it was actually a relative of Ptolemy that was left in charge of the province, and he's just like, screw this, guys. I want to be the king. I ain't letting anyone else be the king. I'm the dang pharaoh here. And then he rebelled. I don't think it was too hot for him. Anyway, we're just gonna get upgrades across the board. I want Egypt to be as prosperous as possible, but you know what? We have to make sure we're not creating public dissent. But it looks like thus far these upgrades won't really do that. We are going to create squalor en masse. Every single time you expand a settlement, sewers become overrun in muck. Become filthy. Too many people. All across Egypt, the prosperity of Pharaoh's administration is felt. And you can see public works sprawl across the land. Yeah, we're gonna have to get this army to Cyrene. Fight our way through banditry. Doesn't look like that does anything other than negative public order, which we're gonna have one way or another. Rebellion, I anticipate it. I've accounted for it. And yeah, we'll continue to march on Cyrene here and see what we can do. I'm not going to recruit any more men for now, but I'm just looking whether there's any investments to be made. I don't see any. Yeah. Nothing yet. I think we can just allow our money to consolidate a little bit. And yeah, I really do want to be able to get level 2 barracks. So let's work on this military technology. That'll get us our level 2 barracks and actually allow us to start using some of the better units from the Ptolemaic roster.
We humbly ask for a single, modest subsidy to help
guys
our people
are at war
in a
with the
dark time.
Seleucids. So perhaps non-aggression would be okay, but I don't really want to, because I kind of want to take Arabia at some point, and I just hate forgetting about a non-aggression pact and just having it screw me over.
Come now.
Same thing here. Like, I'm just not gonna make non-aggression pacts until people start declaring war on me, and I want to insulate myself from more wars. That's the point of non-aggression for me. Okay, I wanted to get this one because it can get upgraded to like the #1 temple. But also, it doesn't give you a lot of public order. Like, this one gives you more public order, but like, I'm only going to get up to here, I believe. Wait, actually, we need livestock. I'm only going to get up to here, plus 3 public order. That's pretty bad. I mean, this one's gonna get you +8, but this one gives you more Egyptian culture, which I don't want. I don't know. I'll get it. I don't see really better options, to be honest. At least it gives me sanitation, which I'm really gonna need soon, so... There's advantages to it. Cyrene is building. And they have pikemen, they have hoplites. We have some mercenaries. I mean, they're developing a backbone of solid Hellenic troops. It's just not a bad army I'm witnessing in development here. It's actually a quite good army. Aetolian League has already been wiped out. It's pretty early, even for such a crap faction like the Aetolian League. And you could get a great library of Alexander. That's quite cool, actually. I didn't know this exclusive building. It's quite nice. Gives you a good garrison upgrade as well. But minus 30% regional income taxes is a lot, and 500 does not compensate. But plus 60% research obviously is killer. You will become those advanced faction with that building. For sure. For sure you will. Now I'm thinking, should check in on what we have here, and we already have a ton of horrendous factions. Horrendous families in charge here. Usually things are not going this badly when it comes to political system right away. Usually things are kind of okay, but clearly not. So I'm curious what to do here. I don't have a Ptolemy I can actually give leadership of an army to. And we don't have the fantastical Egypt from vanilla where you can have female generals. Again, it did not generally happen in Egyptian history, okay? Like, I wish it did, but unfortunately, the Ptolemies were incredibly patriarchal, just like all other Greeks. They would not have let a woman command, with the exception of the megalomaniac known as Cleopatra, so... yeah, it would not have happened. But I don't know, even if I marry off my family member to one of these guys, she just joins their family, so... there's no way for me to easily get another general. I could get wait for one of these kids to grow up, but... it's not really that good. And Ptolemy is already pushing forward here. I don't know, guys. It's just generally a horrendous family members here, but I guess I can replace a general later if the family gets a little bit too big for their own boots.
Ready for orders. Come, join our ranks. What can I do for Egypt?
But yeah, guys, we are moving forward here. I think within a turn, we should be quite close to Cyrene. These rebels are just hurriedly trying to assemble their men to battle order. And I'm going to send my army
What can I do?
within striking distance of the city and then camp them out. At the end of the day, I want them to attack me. I'm not willing to take on 2 armies plus the garrison of the city. I believe that to be patently absurd to do. Really? What does that mean? What happens when you hire someone? Can you just take him? Wait, what does that even do? Doesn't do anything. Oh, I just wasted a ton of I'm sorry. You know what? That basically just adds those characters to the roster, but I didn't need them. I just didn't know what it did. And I paid the price of my stupidity there. I just lost a ton of money. But you know what? It's a learning process here, folks. An Historica stream.
I live to serve Pharaoh.
But yeah, I don't know. We can recruit our typical mercenaries here.
At your command.
And then start getting pikemen as well.
Glorious thing to fight for our cause.
Looks like next turn a bunch of stuff's gonna finish, and I might have to start investing in continued upgrades right after. Although I might not have the technological backing to do so, so maybe not. Yeah, we're running dangerously low on money here. Yehuda's about to erupt into violence, I think within like a turn or two. Once we also take the settlement, we're gonna have a rebellion in Libya to put down as well. Huh, Cyrene, they do not take the bait. They do not attack Pharaoh. That's a rip. I really wish that they did. I don't know, we could march this guy over to have him join the conflict, but it's gonna take a little while for him to get over. I don't really see much of a choice, to be honest.
As much of its servant.
Yeah, Yehuda's gone. We're gonna have rebellions, there's nothing I can do. Don't have the resources nor the technology to upgrade any of these buildings, with the exception of this one. Which I'm not gonna do, so yeah, we can like, I don't know, we can just chill. Ain't anything I can do at the moment. Luckily public order is on the up, at least. And I really... I mean, thank you, Seleucids and Casts. You're gonna help me extract more money from my province. Putting down the rebels. Not allowing them to consolidate their power. Although, to be fair, if the next rebellion pops up further from the border of the Seleucids, in like Cyprus or near Jerusalem, they're gonna succeed. They're gonna overthrow me. Yes! This is what I wanted. A man-on-man battle. Now, to be fair, I'm not at an advantageous battle, alright? Like, I'm not clapping because I am projected to win this decisively. They have elephants, although shitty African elephants. Forget African elephants, much smaller than Indian elephants. They have pikemen, which I think are a little bit weaker than mine. They're not as professional.
Pike ready and waiting.
They have more hoplites in their ranks than pikes, and hoplites not as useful against pikes, so I'm happy about it. But those elephants are scary. I don't think that the enemy had the most cavalry, though. I forgot about my hoplites. I had one unit of Syrianese hoplites. Have these guys run back, a steady canter.
Enemy
I'll have my
reinforcements
pikemen
approaching.
form in grand phalanx in Alexandrian fashion. You can see it. We're lowering our pikes down with splendor, with agility. Commanders running to the back so we can command the pace and make sure the formation stays in order. And my archer boys are gonna go ham here. On the flanks, we have these Celts. We're gonna run in and slaughter the enemy. Cyrene does not have any melee fighters of the power of the Celts. In fact, they have these Greek infantry who do have a lot of javelins, but they're basically quasi-skirmishers. They don't have armor. You can see they just have tunics, occasional wooden cheap shield to protect themselves. They're basically just random Greek settlers who are outfitted for war, kind of, and just go for it. Yet, what I'm worried about are these elephants. They could really help the enemy smash through his flank. Like, up against my one Galatian and the Egyptian here, it is a very powerful force. I quite like it. So I'm gonna move my skirmish cavalry to the flank. I'm gonna make sure my Egyptian archers pepper those elephants too. But I think I can smash the enemy in the center because my pike phalanx just looks better than what they have.
Archers! Our orders! Defensive
Yeah, I'm gonna go make sure that my Egyptian archers unload the elephants. We might not be able to kill a lot of them, but collectively all of these arrows are gonna cause those elephants to suffer a lot of health damage. And I think my spearmen can kinda wipe them out after. The elephants look like we're hesitating on their direction a little bit.
Wash over them!
Okay, we have javelins flying, we have arrows flying. It's enemy elephants.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Proud sons of Egypt!
I mean, they're running into pikes, they're taking arrows. I don't know, man. Add them to damage to
One of
my
our units
pikes.
has used all its
But
ammunition.
I'm gonna keep my pikemen just kind of here. Think that they're a good unit to go fight off elephants. They have these pointy sticks. I don't know, man. My pikes are losing a lot of men. So not men I can really afford to lose. My Egyptian archers are trying to cover my pikemen. They're killing the occasional elephant. These bad boys, they did not go down easy.
Spears! Cut them
I just need to go ahead and charge the enemy's flank here. We have better melee fighters, but I can't take all these javelins. I'm gonna lose if I do that.
Pikeman!
Kill the enemy elephants.
Ready for
Elephants killed like 40 of my pikemen, which is
General!
like, yeah, like 40 of my pikemen. Not ideal,
Spears!
but I can stomach those losses. Not horrible.
Egyptian infantry!
I'm trying to rush in here, and the enemy are gonna reinforce the flank without committing to my center.
Ready for orders!
Intelligent, but it
At
also
your service! Commander!
in a
Your
worse
orders
position.
ready! Your orders!
Strike on my center
Warriors!
and flash out on the flank as well. If they're gonna try to ignore some of my men,
Order! My lord!
but I can't let them do that.
Find your man!
Swift and accurate.
Skirmish and cavalry!
And a lot of the Cyrenessians that got charged are not doing the best.
Nazis! Waiting order! Skirmish and cavalry! Ready! Pikes! By your command! Orders! Warriors! Ready! Ptolemaic! Skirmish and cavalry!
Beautiful.
Spears!
Nice route on the right flank. This is what I expect of my Galatians. Should be the Galatian difference.
Cavalry!
Why I pay them so damn much.
Ready! Kill! Orders!
You know, it's kind of like in a sport, you know? When they send talent scouts over
Skirmish and cavalry!
to
Orders!
areas that are not like traditionally a part of the
Our
league.
general is under attack.
You know, like you'll send like a talent scout. Like say you're hockey, right? You send a talent scout to like Asia to see if you're just like an amazing hockey player in Asia. No one knows about. Kind of like that, you know, we went all the way to Galatia, found these guys. And yeah, I mean they're just pounding these Greek light infantry submission. You're just not.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
You can see amongst all of this rabble, the light troops that are routing, is the occasional Greek mercenaries, which is starting to flee as well. Because
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Pikemen, they're running. It is absolutely amazing. Our first pike unit of the Cyrenian Civil War here. Chop them to pieces. They're armed in Alexandrian fashion, even if they're not the right culture.
As you say.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
So many like balances caught up this city here. These things is utterly surrounded. Some Cyrenians, come back. I'm gonna go send some Curian levies at them. The men who have returned to the field, they are understandably not he literally in good health. Well, he probably cheats a little bit.
Ready and waiting. Commander, ready. Your orders.
Go ahead, surround these guys. The majority of the Siren SC is
Battle.
fled.
Ready. Archers. Awaiting orders.
You can see some of the better pikemen. They're starting to lose men in droves. Shield bearers, the elites, Cyrene, still around.
You have our spears.
How long?
Skirmishers.
About to get some pretty serious routes on them. Yeah, some light infantry over here getting caught in a vice.
The men are wavering.
There is wavering.
Ptolemaic cavalry.
Pretty wavering in my army. These fucking pikemen, they're getting destroyed. They're getting shredded.
Archers. In for glory.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
At your command. Engage! Pikeman! Understood! Cavalry! Melee infantry at the ready! Lights! Orders! Disarm! Battle ready! And Kill their flag! Spearmen! Ready for battle! Archers! At the ready! Orders! Ready! Our aim is through! Cavalry! Ready and waiting! Awaiting orders! Skirmishers! Ready! Archers! Galatians!
One of our
It really
units
is
has
down
used all
to
its
the end here,
ammunition.
boys.
Skirmisher cavalry!
These are just some reinforcements that came in. You're rather late to the fight, although you know what? I really should make cavalry a wave. Why would I idiotic to do that?
Galatians!
Making sure my spearmen head on and numbered enemy considerably. And maybe we can
Yes,
march our general who's in a more heavy
Advance at
cavalry
speed!
round.
Warriors! Eager for blood!
Yeah, it's just that once we start cutting down enough of these men, probably rout and these pikemen are losing confusion because they're surrounded. So we should be able to eventually kill enough of these Greeks to make them want to run. I don't know, our men are going a little bit slow here.
Heavy horse at your command!
Yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead, fast forward here a little bit. I mean, that is exactly what we wanted. Destroy the enemy army, take limited casualties. So we don't have to face these men when we besiege your city. And we still have the forces left to actually take Cyrene. So it would have been a disaster if we won the battle, but it was a more Pyrrhic victory, and we weren't able to actually take the city afterwards. And what would be the point of fighting this battle? Basically like losing if that was the case. So yeah, I don't know. It is what it is. But I can tell you.
Come now,
It still might be a little bit hard to take this city. Let's hope it happens, but it's not exactly the easiest thing to take a city like Cyrene. Regardless, let's
None will escape!
go in. You know what, actually? So auto-resolve win is pretty juicy. Pretty decent odds.
You have further orders?
Go
Ready
ahead.
for battle!
Loot it. Destroy the faction, and you know what? We already have a civil or a rebellion going, so might as well allow the rebellion to fester for another turn, so we don't have to suffer a horrible public order that, you know, looting and sacking a settlement brings. Yeah, we can start building a better army with that building. Temporarily, my political situation became a little bit better. And a pretty good public order developing in Egypt as well. Yeah, I'd love to get this building. I mean, literally just everything is plus.
Ready for orders. How can I assist, Pharaoh? Ready for orders.
And let's send this army, or this spy, over here to...
Stopping for now, my lord.
Now these units, they're not terrible. Like, they have okay stats. They're pretty decent spearmen, with the exception of the one armor. The one armor makes them terrible.
Ready for battle.
But still, they're very light, and it might be a little bit hard for my pikes to get a hold of them. Yet, I'll just have to fight them the way that they are. Turn, allow it to go on. But a nice win against Cyrenians. That was invigorating. That was nice. Julia's next, after we put down a little rebellion that we have going on our territory. But actually, I might let it go for another turn. It depends on whether my army in Cyrene is actually recovering.
One sec.
The thing is that if that army is like recovering properly, I want it to stay there without taking public order damage, and I still have an army near the rebellious one anyway.
All I
so
ask.
I should be able to kind of just chill out there for another turn, get some men without having to incur the public order penalties of having your army in a city, because in DEI, if your army is in a city, you actually take public order damage or take penalty. But anyway, doesn't look like that's gonna happen, because, yeah, we're negative public order. But it is what it is. I'm gonna send this army back to Egypt. It's the only way that I'm gonna get it to recover. Might as well just shut down a rebellion. It's good for business. It's not a rebellion on territory. And it's a big number.
Setting forth in Pharaoh's name. Is that all,
Like,
my
we can
lord?
control the region, it's gonna help us with public order slightly. We can control the region here, it can help us with public order slightly. We'll have the spy to set up shop here, and you know what? You have some money. Let's invest it in this public order thing. It's really expensive, but it's really good for public order. And you know what? Otherwise, we can recruit a dignitary, which is basically an administrator. She will help us improve the province's output even further. See, guys, we finally have public order in Egypt, and also the Egyptian population is declining slightly and being replaced by Greeks. Good law-abiding, tax-paying Greeks. Okay, maybe not the last one, but Greeks that aren't going to be as mad about being ruled by Macedonians, so it's a plus. It's a plus for sure. Now, yeah, it might take a little while for us to get the war machine moving again. I'm gonna have to bring Pharaoh back to Alexandria in order to recover my army. There's really no other way. Libya doesn't have supply lines that are adequate to recruiting an army of the type that I need. Flooding the Nile. You know what? Go ahead and flood, or prepare for the floods, rather.
How can I assist, Pharaoh?
Nile is our lifeline. We can't have it be out of our control. That's just stupid. Over here, everything that is prudent to upgrade is being upgraded. We can go administer the region. That's good. Yeah, we're still waiting on this building, so we can't really recruit anything all that useful either. Yeah, we're gonna have a full-on slave rebellion. It's not good, but nothing I can do about it. Arian can get a skill. I assumed correctly that it was my spy. Let's get these two. And boom! Let's get it, boys.
Chaining a beast does not break a beast.
Not a word now.
Look into its eyes. The spark is there. It is biding its time, waiting.
Anyway, that was Spartacus-like revolt in our hands, boys. Yeah. So, a rebellion. Not ideal. Slave rebellions are much larger than the normal rebellions that you have when you hit negative 100 public order. And they happen if you have a large enough slave population. Usually happens if you sacked a lot of cities, and I've only sacked Cyrene, so no fair! I shouldn't have a slavery issue just yet. But what can I do? Sometimes it just happens. And rebellion, Incide, drought, 8 turns, negative. Okay, that's horrible. Slaves, I mean, luckily it's in the north. That's actually a positive thing.
My lord, I want hourly patrols.
That will help with food a lot.
Ready for battle.
Ready for orders. Basta, damn you all!
Not enough. Man, I had no idea that would happen. It's terrible. I was actually kind of worried there. That slave army was not big. What the heck? Usually slave armies are like massive, but I mean that's great. Army was raiding me too, so it'll help us with our food supply. Albeit I don't see the Seleucids possibly being this docile. No, they're plotting something. Oh my god, something just happened. Yo, okay, I was playing with a silica packet and it just blew up. Man, I'm covered in this stupid silica stuff, dude. No. Whatever. Oh, you know what? It's not like liquid, right? It's hard, so it doesn't matter. Okay, I'm gonna ignore the piracy prop. Actually, no. Yeah, dang pirates. What am I saying? Bring in Caesar. You'll wipe him out. You'll get rid of him. Seleucids, they trespass, but it's the best trespassing I could possibly imagine. A rebellion in Cyrene? Are you kidding me? I'm so salty about this. I'm gonna send this army over to try to liberate Cyrene from these darn rebels. food issues are so annoying, man.
What can I do for Egypt? How can I assist, Pharaoh?
All I ask is a treaty. I am not proposing marriage now, am I? There will be no Harridan mothers-in-law.
You know what? I'm not gonna get one solely because I don't know who the Antigonids are gonna end up being at war with in the future. And usually, it's a lot of people, okay? Usually we're at war with half the world and we get crushed under our heels, so...
A treaty between our peoples would
I
see
don't
us all...
believe such a treaty is gonna be useful. And it looks like Nabatea is actually doing well against the Seleucids. They've expanded their territory. Surprisingly to me, actually, I don't rate the Nabateans that highly. Seleucids are letting grow Alexandrian flourish.
Return to your people.
And ooh, I don't like that. Libyans onto. Okay. At least it puts them closer to my border, I suppose.
I will be honest.
I will be honest, I do not care. Okay, we have problems here, guys. We have massive problems. Firstly, this Cyrenian rebellion is getting out of hand. It's gonna take us 3 turns to get here. It may not be enough. I mean, no. I'm surprised if I don't just storm. Okay. I mean, it's really good that we had a new Ptolemy that we can use. Let's hire these guys and hope for the very darn best that we can. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's gonna have to loop around and go to Ammonium. In the meantime, he's hopefully gonna recruit some extra troops from the area, I don't know. Still really low on food.
We fight for you, my lord.
My lord.
We fight for you, my lord.
A treaty.
Alright, let's see what's about, boys. Let's see what's going on. Truthfully, this is not a great position for me. Things are falling apart a little bit at the seams. I'm not gonna lie. This drought's absolutely killing my army. And yeah, I just lost another settlement. But hey, looks like the drought's over or something. I don't know. For infantry, because infantry's always king, you know. Infantry's always the best.
Waiting for more orders.
And yes, we've got our level 2 settlement that gives us some cavalry. Honestly, not a ton of extra troops.
Ready for orders.
Levies, I don't know, man. It's gonna be really hard to put down these Syrian rebels, I'm not gonna lie. It's gonna be really difficult and really annoying. Let's bring this army over, screw it. I have Pharaoh that's gonna end up marching on the Libyans anyway. Let's go for my other Ptolemaic general.
Are you ready to serve?
Now this is not a particularly strong barbarian unit within, like, you know, the grand scheme of all barbarian units that are available, but they're like okay, so I'll go for them.
Ready for battle.
And yeah, we're marching Pharaoh in without his army fully recovered. To say this, Libyans really, like, that timing that they used to declare war on me was so freaking good, dude. It was so smart. Like, I was gonna do it, and they just caught me with my pants down, basically. Although,
Take this subsidy. Our treasuries.
not to say that it's gonna help them out. Siwa is a new. You know, I didn't realize that Agulia, they just created a puppet province. Okay, we're gonna go for Kyrene.
There is much to
Really annoying, I do have to admit.
Let them cower before our might.
It's a -5.
Ready at once. Your next command, my lord. Come, join our ranks.
Egyptian royal pikemen are actually quite good if you look at their stats. Actually quite decent. Yet.
Ready for orders.
Don't really have the population to get too many of these guys.
What can I do?
I think at this
for
point,
you?
if I just continue on to Kyrene, then I'm
I
just
live
gonna get
to serve Pharaoh.
absolutely destroyed.
At your command.
You know, this army, I'm just gonna kill it. I didn't want to, but I think that's for the best,
How
probably.
can I assist Pharaoh?
Just get a bunch of these fuckers, and then... Why is this hired archer so expensive? Horrible unit. Terrible, terrible unit. So overpriced.
At your command.
Man, I mean, I'll keep this army stationed in Kyrene, but definitely not going to help me too much. Kyrene's probably going to fall.
My people.
Man, this is not going very well. Like, Yehuda is still crap. Egypt is not even, like, that positive, public order-wise. And Libya is up in flames. It's like Gaddafi's in charge or something.
Bound.
Gulia moves in for the kill. They're immune to desert attrition as well, so... Kyrenians, they just don't want to. And then who's joined my enemies? This guy's...
The dawn.
Oh no, they just want to bribe, clearly.
Ready for
They're willing to make
orders.
peace,
Fight for
as
you.
long as I provide one.
Egypt asks much of its servants. At your command, we take this settlement.
What can I do here?
For Egypt. Are you ready to serve? My lord.
My plan here is quite simple. I take Ammonium back. Once I've struck, I'm going to move Pharaoh's army back into Egypt so it can actually recover. And this second army, which, you know, full of Thracians, pikemen, some nice Sarissa lancers, they are going to trade places with Pharaoh, and they're going to go in, strike deeper into Libya. Meanwhile, Pharaoh's army can go back to Alexandria and seek out new recruits.
The portent.
Next turn will be the last of the video.
We offer this as a sign of accord reached and
Yeah,
new.
actually, that's worth it. Those guys are all the way across the world, and I'll take the 2800. I can do something with that. What the heck is this enemy army? We have similar numbers. The enemy has infinite javelins. I really want to play this. I don't know. Do I? I'll have silver chevrons. I have a bunch of pikes, which I'll get stuck full of javelins real quick. Well, the majority of my army is basically just rabble. Yeah. There was a possibility that I win that, but not really a large one. Even if I did.
Fall back!
The only negative thing I have about that is that yeah, the nobles are not going to be happy about the death of her brethren, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, Libya again. I can't control Libya, man. I can't control it at all.
How can I?
Yeah, but we can win that battle for sure. Yeah, at least I can win that one. This army that I'm up against, they seem like a ragtag mix of nothing. Some sort of eastern militia here. 2 units of Sarmesian hoplites. A unit of Greek militia, I believe.
Missiles!
Our unit that fights in hoplite formation, but their equipment's really not like, that good. Yeah, I'm just gonna have a bunch of infantry poised here. My pikemen can go kind of take the enemy center.
Yours to command.
Hoplites in the back. Yeah, we're gonna try a two-pronged assault. Enemy center. Now, to be fair, enemy could try a full rush. Appears to be their plan. In which case, I'm gonna go ahead and use these buildings to provide a nice choke point.
By your command. At the double.
Make sure that my lines are straight.
Advance at speed.
And add my archers cover
Hoplites ready.
my rear.
Spearmen.
Luckily, the infantry over here were all quite quick. We'll reach the enemy quite soon, and
Ready for
I'm
orders.
just gonna have these pikes actually filling the phalanxes. Get into formation, boys.
Archers. Stay alert.
Yeah, these guys will just run in closer to the fight as the enemy impale themselves. I didn't see pikes in the enemy formation. How my archers target the enemy general? I think sniping the enemy general would be wise. This guy's gonna try to run around. Coming in at a little bit of an angle. Yeah, looks like the enemy general is getting bloody. He doesn't have the most armor. It's like you don't even have saddles. These Libyan noble riders. So even if they're quite skilled at horsemanship, it's not gonna go great. You can see Garrison is gonna struggle against the likes of my pikemen who are going to get vast experience slaughtering these men. Force their way through this choke point. Some of the weaker troops of Cyprus seem to have engaged. I think that they're holding back some of the better troops to preserve the vibe I'm getting. Wait, what these guys?
Our general is under attack.
Enemy general is eviscerated.
Ready for battle.
Half my Galatians are chasing down these local archers, as well as his cavalry unit. We're gonna come clutch. And yeah, it looks like, I mean, there's some enemy hoplites in this mess, but the hoplites are gonna struggle against the tanks.
We await your orders.
Local militia, they're the only thing stopping my cavalry from demolishing all of these archers. Problem
Egyptian infantry!
that they're about to be confronted by some very angry Egyptians. Straight out of Alexandria. We're gonna hit the flank of these guys hard. These Egyptians, they charge in like Germanic berserkers. They don't have the most armor, but they are angry. A long history of being conquered by so many peoples has made these people very hostile. Very merciless on the battlefield.
By your command. Warriors. Ready.
Yeah, the Galatians have basically a free exposed flank here. Charge the
Yours to command.
Ready and waiting.
The battle is turning in our
infantry
favor.
of Siwa.
Waiting.
Any problems?
General. Orders understood.
Egyptian infantry!
These Greek spearmen. formed a nice little wall here, but should have turned around and dealt with the angry Egyptians charging them. Just because you're Greek doesn't mean that you can't fall to the Egyptian blade. And well, that's a lesson that these men were taught. A nice collection of Greeks and locals, yet Siwa falls to us. A splendid victory. And hopefully that's going to start reversing our rotten fortunes in Libya. Because thus far, I had no luck in this damned province, this disgusting province. But also, this army really needs to go and recover. They are so poop, man.
My lord!
We're gonna have a rebellion one way or another. I guarantee it.
I live to serve Pharaoh!
What can I...
March! My lord, forgive me, but we cannot.
Okay, Pharaoh gets to go home. And ammonium is once again under our control. And I think that that's really all that we can do for return. So I'm gonna end it here, guys. But do stay tuned. We're gonna continue campaigning in Libya. We have to retake Cyrene against the new Cyrenessians. Agulia needs to fall. We need to teach these upstart Libyans who's boss. And of course, Pharaoh needs to go back home, rest his tired eyes, and recover from his violent adventures. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope to see you for the next one.